If you're a woman in this room or listening to this right now, hear me, not with your ears, but with your soul. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. And you are, ordinary. You are blessed by God's angels. You are not broken. You are being built. You are not weak. You are a wonder. You are not falling. You are being forged by heavenly hands. And if you've ever felt too tired, too wounded, too invisible, too unsure, then this is exactly the message you were meant to hear today. Because once you understand what's been placed inside of you, you'll stop shrinking to fit the world and start rising to shape it. Don't just listen, lean in. What you're about to hear is not a speech. It's a revelation. Every woman carries a divine fingerprint proof that she is not here by chance, but chosen and blessed by the messengers of heaven. That statement isn't poetic exaggeration. It's truth. It's spiritual reality. You were not born randomly. You were not assembled by accident. Before you ever opened your eyes, heaven had already written your name into eternity's story. That's how intentional your existence is. Think about that. The creator of the universe, the one who spoke light into being, who separated the seas from the sky, took time to form you. Not in a rush, not in a blur, but with care, detail, design, and destiny. And when he finished shaping your life, he didn't leave it to chance. He assigned angels to you not just for protection, but for purpose. Divine favor is not accidental. It's a sign, a mark, a calling. Some of you have survived things you should not have survived. Some of you carry stories that could have broken you, buried you, or made you bitter. But instead, you're still here, still standing, still dreaming. That's not coincidence. That's evidence. Evidence that the favor over your life has been defended in the spiritual realm. That when darkness came for you, angels stood guard. That when you cried yourself to sleep, you were not crying alone. That when you whispered, God, I can't do this anymore, heaven didn't ignore you, it mobilized for you. You see, divine favor isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like peace in the middle of chaos. Sometimes it looks like unexpected strength when your body is tired and your soul is worn. Sometimes it shows up as that one friend who called at just the right moment, or the door that opened when everything else was shutting down. That's not luck. That's favor. That's being blessed by angels sent by a God who doesn't make mistakes. But let's be honest, this world doesn't always affirm that truth. Too often, it tries to reduce women to roles, labels, and limitations. It tries to convince you that your worth is in your appearance, your value in your title, your power in your perfection. But heaven says the opposite. Heaven says your worth is infinite, your value eternal, your power undeniable because you were chosen. When you walk with that awareness, everything changes. You no longer beg for validation from people who don't see your full value. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You start stepping boldly, praying fiercely, leading courageously. Why? Because you know you're not just anybody. You're a woman marked by divinity, graced by angels, called to shift atmospheres and transform lives. So the next time life tells you you're small, remember this: God didn't waste divine breath to create something insignificant. You are not here just to exist. You're here to shine, to lead, to heal, to disrupt darkness. You are here because you are a woman blessed by God's angels. Women are not just surrounded by divine presence, they are vessels of miracles. This truth runs deeper than any surface level inspiration. It's rooted in both history and heaven. From the very beginning, women have been central to the unfolding of God's greatest moves on earth. Not as bystanders, not as assistants, but as carriers of purpose. Look through the pages of time and you'll see that when heaven wanted to initiate change, to birth movements, to reveal glory, it so often chose a woman. Think of Mary, chosen not because she was perfect, but because she was willing. A young girl, likely uncertain, surely overwhelmed, but favored and trusted with the most powerful assignment humanity had ever seen, to carry the Son of God. That was no ordinary moment. That was a holy interruption, and it reminds us of something crucial. God uses women as gateways for glory. The world often looks at women and sees limitation. Heaven looks and sees unlimited potential. Angels don't just protect women, they operate through them. When a woman speaks life, the atmosphere shifts. When she decides to forgive, generations are healed. When she loves without fear, barriers fall. That's not ordinary influence, that's supernatural impact. That's miracle-making energy flowing through a soul aligned with divine purpose. You see, miracles aren't always thunder and lightning. Sometimes they look like a mother choosing to rise after heartbreak. Sometimes they look like a daughter refusing to let shame define her. Sometimes they look like a woman stepping into a calling no one else believed in, but heaven did. That's the power of being a vessel. The miracle isn't just what happens around you, it's what's released through you. You don't have to be loud to carry power. You don't have to be famous to change the world. All you have to be is available. That's what the angel said to Mary. The Lord is with you. That's what heaven whispers to you every day. The Lord is with you, not because you've done everything right, not because you haven't made mistakes, but because He chose you. And when God chooses someone, He equips them. This isn't about religion, it's about recognition. Recognizing the divine activity inside of your daily life. The moments you overlook are the very places miracles are forming. That child you're raising, that business you're building, that community you're nurturing, it's holy work. Don't minimize it. Don't second guess it. Don't underestimate what's happening through you. You've been told you have to chase miracles. But the truth is, you are one. The fact that you're still here, still loving, still standing after all you faced is proof that miracles live inside you. The angels of God aren't simply watching you, they're partnering with you, lifting your hands when you're weary, whispering strength when you're silent, guiding your steps when you can't see the road. You are not just a woman in this world, you are a miracle in motion, a vessel of the divine, a chosen carrier of heaven's power. The world has done a masterful job of whispering lies into the hearts of women, lies that grow like roots, quietly entangling identity until truth feels distant and self-worth becomes fragile. From a young age, women are conditioned to believe they must measure up to impossible standards. Be beautiful, but not too bold. Be strong, but never intimidating. Be nurturing, but don't dream too big. Over time, these messages distort a woman's view of herself. She begins to ask, am I enough? Am I seen? Am I valuable? But here's the unshakable truth. The world's voice is not the final authority. Heaven's voice is. While society works overtime to strip women down to appearances, titles, or performance, God speaks directly to identity. Not earned identity, given identity. You were called worthy before you ever accomplished a thing. You were called beloved before you were ever approved by another soul. You were called powerful long before anyone recognized your strength. The lies of inadequacy can be loud, but the truth of God's affirmation is louder if you're willing to listen. Heaven never said you had to hustle for value. It said you were chosen, called, and carried by grace. Here's the strategy of darkness. If it can convince a woman that she is less than, it can keep her from walking in what she was born for. Because the greatest threat to darkness is not a loud voice. It's a woman who knows who she is. When a woman remembers she was made in the image of God, that she is surrounded by divine favor, that she carries the breath of heaven inside her spirit, she becomes unstoppable. And that's what the enemy fears most, an awakened woman. You don't need to become someone else to be powerful. You don't need to look like her, sound like them, or lead like anybody else. You need to become you, the you that was designed before the world put labels on you. The you that heaven smiled at long before life tried to wear you down. The you that already exists beneath the doubt and comparison. That version of you is not lacking. She's rising. And yes, there will be resistance. Any woman walking in truth will face tension. You'll be misunderstood. You'll be questioned. You might even be judged. But none of that changes the fact that your identity was never up for debate. It was written in divine ink. You were made for more, not because of ego, but because of essence. You were made to influence, to lead, to nurture, to speak, to build. And every lie that tells you otherwise is terrified of what happens when you believe the truth. So to every woman who has ever wondered if she's enough, hear this. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too much. You are right on time, right on course, and fully equipped for everything God has placed in you. The lies can scream, but they cannot win. Because the moment you choose to believe who you really are, the world around you starts to shift. Heaven smiles, and the angels rejoice. There's a moment in every woman's life where she has to decide, will I be defined by the opposition I face or by the calling placed inside of me? Because when heaven chooses you, hell will try to stop you. That's not a sign of weakness. It's confirmation of greatness. The weight of resistance you felt in your life is not proof of your failure. It's evidence of your assignment. You don't get attacked for nothing. You get attacked because you carry something powerful, something eternal, something that threatens darkness. The enemy doesn't come after the empty. He comes after the anointed. And yes, the battles may have been brutal. The heartbreak may have left you bleeding. But even in that pain, even in the betrayal, the silence, the breakdowns, God was building something. And the angels assigned to your life, they didn't leave when the fire got hot. They stood with you. They protected your future when you couldn't even see tomorrow. They lifted you when you thought you had nothing left to give. Too often we think being chosen by God means a smooth road. But the truth is, being chosen doesn't guarantee comfort. It guarantees purpose. And purpose will always invite pressure. But here's what most people forget. Diamonds aren't made in peace. They're made in pressure. Warriors aren't born in quiet. They're forged in the middle of storms. And women chosen by heaven are not fragile. They are forged. Every setback you've endured, every time you were counted out, every door that slammed in your face, it wasn't just life being cruel. It was preparation. It was resistance training. You've been lifted, broken, rebuilt, and refined, not because God forgot you, but because He was preparing you. And when heaven prepares someone, it doesn't ask the world for permission. So let me say it plain. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you're failing. Just because you feel the weight doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're stepping into territory that fear never wanted you to touch. It means you're carrying light into spaces that have lived in darkness too long. It means you're walking with angels on a mission bigger than you. There are people who will try to dim your fire simply because they're afraid of what it reveals about their own shadows. Don't let them. You weren't lit by human hands. You were set ablaze by a divine spark. And when that fire burns inside a woman, she becomes a threat to everything built on lies. So rise not with apology, but with authority. Walk into the room like you belong there because you do. Speak like your words carry weight because they do. Love like your heart heals wounds because it does. And when resistance comes again, and it will, don't crumble. Stand, smile. And remember, when heaven chooses you, hell can't stop you. It can try. It can shout. It can rage. But it cannot win. Because the angels walk with you, and no force in hell can overthrow a woman aligned with her divine purpose. There comes a moment in every woman's life when the voice inside becomes louder than the noise outside. That voice doesn't beg for attention, it commands alignment. It says, this is your time. Not someday, not when you're more prepared, more perfect, more accepted. Now, right now, it's time for women to rise, not just individually, but collectively, to lead, to speak, to heal, to build, and to move forward like they were always meant to. Because the world doesn't just need more noise, it needs more truth. And the truth is, women blessed by God's angels were never meant to play small. You've waited long enough for approval, for the right moment, for someone to see you, believe in you, or make room for you. But when you're favored by heaven, you don't need an invitation to the table, you bring the table. And this is that moment, the moment where you stop shrinking, stop second guessing, stop rehearsing your pain and start walking in your power. This is not hype. This is not a pep talk. This is a summons, a divine call to rise. You weren't just born to survive, you were born to shift things, to influence atmospheres, to transform families, to build legacies that outlive you. And deep down, you know that. That's why the ache inside you won't go away. That's why the idea, the dream, the vision, it won't let you rest. Because you weren't meant to live silent. You were meant to roar. You were meant to break chains, to carry light, to walk with angels through valleys and over mountains, declaring, I was made for this. But stepping into that kind of life doesn't come with comfort. It comes with clarity. And clarity can be disruptive. It means you might outgrow rooms, relationships, or roles that once felt like home. It means not everyone will cheer for you. It means not everyone will understand your fire. But that's okay. You weren't chosen to be understood, you were chosen to be effective. And effectiveness doesn't always look like applause. Sometimes it looks like obedience. Obedience to the call that's been on your life since before you could even speak. The angels around you aren't watching from a distance, they're working alongside you. They're clearing paths, covering your blind spots, and confirming what God has already spoken. You are enough. You are ready. You are anointed. You are appointed. You are not asking for a chance. You are stepping into your assignment. The world has had centuries of silencing strong women. But that season is ending, not because anyone gave permission, but because heaven gave a green light. The kind of woman you are becoming is not one who waits to be noticed. She knows she's seen. She knows she's called. And now she moves boldly, unapologetically, authentically, with a power that doesn't come from trying harder, but from finally realizing she was always more than enough. So rise, not someday, today, because the angels have already gone before you. And the world is about to witness what happens when a woman blessed by God finally says yes. Let me leave you with this. You are not average, and your life is not ordinary. You were born with Heaven's fingerprint on your soul and angels walking beside you, not just to protect you, but to partner with you. You are a force built with fire, grace, and divine strategy. And everything you've walked through, every battle you've survived, every tear you've cried, it's all been leading to this moment. Now is not the time to dim your light. Now is the time to stand tall, speak loud, and live full. Because the world